It's officially the real show now.
We're making history, a podcast, a digital audio recording.
And we should introduce ourselves. I'm Jordan, your DJ. I'm Sean, your host. And who are you?
I'm failed Canadian entertainer Garrick.
And to my left,
I'm David.
Rock and roll, great
Perfect.
start.
Great.
This is the professional medium, so we're taking a professional approach. And it's the organic raw medium, so we're going to give you the organic raw approach. We're pretty much just going from, hey, we're going to start a podcast to the podcast beginning. So this is it. This is a podcast. I guess we got to figure out a name.
Yeah, we don't have a name yet. We have a bunch of options, but
we need to figure out a point. We need a point of view.
Yeah.
We need a reason to exist. But where do you start? Does one lead to the other? Does a name give you your focus, or do you decide what you are and then make a name after that?
We have a list of names, potential names.
I mean, we've considered a few. I mean, Dave, we asked you to brainstorm a couple as your contribution
in the 5 minutes
to the podcast. So what led to with you having no knowledge of what we were thinking of doing and still having no knowledge, any of us collectively, what names leapt to your mind?
This is it.
This is it.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Already the name of a prominent documentary.
I like
a word away from like the most popular television program right now.
What is that?
This Is Us, I believe is what it's called.
Yeah. I thought
we could just use
I mean,
that.
this show has the potential to be equally as heart-wrenching. So this is it. It was the first one that Dave arrived at. What else do we have here?
That was it.
That was it.
Yeah.
This is it, and that was it.
Yeah.
I like that was it.
And I love how none of those, like the title, none of them are even really like words. They're all like, I don't know, what are they, like conjunctions, or I don't even know what the term is, but like this is it. Like none of them are
none of them
at all
latch
declared.
onto.
No,
they just kind of float out there. Okay, so I'm a big fan already of That Was It. I think that was it, but we do have 6 other options. So, and Dave hasn't heard any of those yet.
Yeah, I'd like to hear
and what
them.
about like what about gamers, but with a Y in there?
I like it.
Like GAYM.
Is there a Z on the end?
Yeah, that works. Yeah, I like that. No, we need. I think we should really borrow from the B Sharp's mantra, which is like we need a name that's funny the first time you hear it and less funny each subsequent time.
That was it. Meets the requirements.
Yeah. Well, okay. I better start tossing out alternatives. Rather, it's so easy to condemn, so hard to create. But Dave, what do you think of the Goatse podcast?
That's good.
Yeah, and it's like goat is written in big letters, like greatest of all time.
Yeah.
So it looks like it says the Goat podcast, but then in the small letters you see that it really says the Goatse podcast.
Alternatively, what do you think of the title, The Official Goatse Podcast?
That might even be better. I don't want people to get confused.
No, and like there's a lot of imposters out there, a lot of pretenders to the throne, so we have to stake our claim early.
Has Goatse ever been like identified? Is it known who that man is?
Whose asshole that is?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I don't. That's strange. That's a good question. You'd think that someone would come forward with that. The amount of fame that's just waiting there for someone to grab. No one's gonna leave that much fame unclaimed,
right?
Especially if it wasn't you, I guess. But that would be the thing. You can't lie about it because they would go prove it. And then if that wasn't you,
oh boy.
Dave, what do you think of a podcast called GIMP?
It sounds intriguing.
Okay, what about GIMP Mask?
That's good.
Okay.
I like that one. I also know who Goatse is. I don't know. Can we say it? Is that... Are we doxing him if we say it?
You might be. I'd rather
Did
keep
you, like,
that
find an
a
interview with
juicy
him?
secret. We'll put that
Yeah.
on the premium episode. We'll put that on.
That's perfect.
Hey, if you want to know who Goatse was, if you want to hear a name that means nothing, just two names.
A name in a description. I know what he looks like.
Could be we could, well, everyone knows what he looks like on the inside. We could just be picking two names and saying them, and just trust me, that's Goatse.
Yeah,
But if you want it, you got to subscribe to our Patreon.
Yeah.
It's
$15,
which
a month.
we'll give you I'll say the link of once we decide what the actual podcast is called. So Goatse podcast, Gimp Mask. Dave, what do you think of a podcast called Dry Holes?
It sounds rough. I don't know.
What do you think a show called Dry Holes would be about? Like just hearing it, what does it spring to mind?
Like a home flipping show.
Dry holes?
The focus on drywalling.
A home flipping podcast.
Yeah, homes on dry holes.
Yeah, that sounds like a reality show about the guy who does homes on homes when he goes home to his wife, and they're just miserable relationships. All the women in his life, his wife and his sister-in-law. Yeah, this is Homes with Dry Holes.
Yeah, I would watch every episode of that. That sounds great.
Definitely a Reno-based show. But that's what we want. I mean, we want to get people who. I like the idea of it maybe appealing to people that we wouldn't think, that people will stumble upon it by accident. So somebody's like, "Oh, I want to like refurbish this old chair. I'm going to put on Dry Holes." It seems like it definitely would be.
Yeah.
My first instinct, if I've got to plug in a few tag words into Google, it's going to be
dry
holes.
Yeah.
You need it's the backbone of construction, holes.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I don't know, like drywall, but that seems like too much. So maybe
and
wall
two
is
of
not
them.
good. I'm not going to put whole wall because then that's the opposite of what I'm trying to do here. Okay, what about the Happy Fisherman podcast? Speaking of trying to get a different audience, but also having a logo that exists that I don't think anyone can claim copyright infringement on.
I don't think so.
We could sell those light switches.
That's true. Yeah, and it is in the public domain. So I don't know if that's true. I don't know.
I think it is. It's like Mickey Mouse. It's like Mickey Mouse is about to be 100 years old, and it's going to be a public domain issue that's happened. The Happy Fisherman has got to be more than a century old.
I'll find out here.
I think the Tragically Hip song "Ahead by a Century" is about the artist who did the Happy Fisherman. Because he did it in like 1870. He's like, "You were ahead by a century, man." We love that shirt in the 70s, but the fact that you knew that and you got stoned to death for making it. The Happy Fisherman, for those who don't know, I would say to just look it up is how you're going to get the most enjoyment. But spoiler alert,
it's great though.
It's a man who's fishing, and he's got a very happy look on his face because under the water you see that a fish is sucking on his dick, and there's many different iterations of it. Some do him that he's like totally nude from the pants, like from the waist down.
Yeah, that's
like
the classic,
wearing a
though.
fisherman vest
Yep.
and a hat still, like fully fisherman from the waist up,
like the
the
opposite
waist
of a fly
down,
fisher.
like wiggling his toes in the water because he's not wearing his socks. He's loving just being free in the water and letting nature at
Suck his
him.
dick, yeah.
And so that would definitely get us a lot of people who, if it is called that by this point, are furious by what they're listening to if they haven't already abandoned it.
Yeah,
But,
well, I mean, to be fair, the last time I even went fishing was I don't even remember when. So we
I don't want to
know.
talk about fishing.
Well, I want to talk about fishing. I want the show to be about fishing now.
I want to. Well, we can talk about like the big mouth Billy Bass and like what songs it
fair.
should have been on it.
Yeah, Down with the Sickness.
Yeah, I would like my brain immediately went to new metal where I'm like, why wouldn't you have it doing like the beatbox part of Freak on a Leash?
Just flapping his head back and forth. I mean, you can program those to do whatever you want.
That would horrify a child if they did.
Christmas
If like
morning.
the last time they heard it, it had done like "Take Me to the Water," and then this time they play it. Just the beautiful people. Oh. What about Doom Man?
Doom Man?
Doom
Doom?
Man.
Doom Man?
Doom Man.
Doom Man.
I don't know if I understand what you say. Like Doom? DOOM Man?
Doom Man.
Yeah, Doom Man.
I don't know. It sounds too confusing.
What do you mean? You don't think it rolls off the tongue?
Doom Man.
It's okay. It's
don't
no
think that-
Goatse.
You don't think that there's a reason that a comic book hasn't used that for like a villain name yet? Because somebody wrote it down as a character, and then when they read it, they went, "I am Doom Man." And they, oh, fuck that, and just erased it right away.
My mouth hates those words.
This is
Ugh.
stupid as hell. Doom Man.
Dr. Doom's original name? Fantastic Four Quiver. I am Doom Man.
Yeah, and Dave, I got bad news for you. The folder that I have all of the information about this is called Doom Man, so it's kind of the front runner in my mind.
It is the front runner, Dave. I'm sorry. I mean,
Like, it makes That Was It feel like a very ninth. I've got one other one,
okay.
and it might be better as like an episode name, because we might just feel bad saying it over and over again. But I've got one here called Maholocaust.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's it. Don't leave it hanging in the air, Dave. I mean,
That's
we're
okay.
brainstorming.
Dave.
No bad ideas.
You don't-
Like,
you don't
Jesus
owe me anything
Christ.
for that one.
I have tickled you with like 6 in a row here, and suddenly I go, hey, maybe one more, and you go, you know what, we're done. It's Doom Man. Moving on.
It's That Was It, and that's that.
All right, so not Maholocaust.
It's a good episode title, though. Maybe it could be the episode of this episode title.
It could be. Yeah, I think so. Well, and that's all I have prepared. So over this, did you think of did any others spring to mind?
No, not to my mind.
I mean, I wouldn't mind having the word Irie in it somewhere.
Yeah.
Irie.
Like the Irie Goatse podcast.
Hey,
The official Irie Goatse podcast.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
dry Irie holes.
Dryry holes.
I mean, so Dave, so you've heard them. Which is your favorite?
Gimp Mask is pretty good.
Dark Horse.
Definitely a dark horse. We kind of cruised right past that one. Why? What draws you to that? Would you listen to a podcast called Gimp? Because no one's gonna know anything about us. Like out of the trio of us, I'm the only one who's ever really made any attempt to pursue the entertainment industry, and I failed. No one knows me from that, so no one's gonna find this in the conventional way of a podcast. Our only hope is that we'll hook people just through a bit of an oddity. And so why would you listen to something called Gimp Mask?
Yes, I would.
Just
All right.
straight, like he's
100%.
on the stand.
Yes,
Like-
Your Honor. I would listen to, let the record state, I would listen to a podcast called Gimp Mask.
With no provocation beyond the title.
Nope.
What would the corresponding image have to be?
It's like an empty Gimp Mask.
An empty Gimp Mask.
Like you don't need to see like a face in it. Just like a mask, like if
a
it was like
black
in the
void.
shape of a head. Yeah, just
Or just a
Nothing
guy with
going on
like
there.
dead eyes
Just
and
bright-
just
bright
empty.
light shining out of the eyes. Projecting the
What
words
about a
Gimp
Gimp mask like kissing, like an empty Gimp mask kissing like a luchador mask?
that would be good.
Yeah. What about like a horse
Or a
wearing
gas
Gimp
mask.
mask?
Oh.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Horse wearing a completely leather Gimp mask.
Yeah, I guess we could.
Like a
there's the
feeding
Mr.
bag
Hands
and stuff?
podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Hands.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. So Sean, what do you think? What's your front runner?
Well, I mean, it's got to be That Was It. I said it as a joke, and it really grew on me, and I really like it. So,
Well, look it up. That's got to exist. There must already be a
All right, let me
podcast
just
called
see here.
That Was It.
and tune in to
And
our
it's gonna be
Patreon
about, like,
show.
A study of old Hollywood. Oh, remember when the Three Stooges used to slap around a 15-year-old girl? That was it. Why did they earn their star on the Walk of Fame? Well, Fatty Arbuckle took a Coke bottle, and that was it.
There is no podcast called That Was It. So there is a This Is That. That's a CBC podcast.
Oh, that's a super famous podcast.
That was it.
And, oh man, I hate That Was It just for the record. The fact that it's hanging around as a contender is really concerning to me. I don't care about politics, but I get that feeling that I'm sure some people had about certain figures that I don't give a shit about. If they got elected, leave me alone. But I get the feeling when I hear that I might be on a podcast called That Was It.
What is your front runner? What do you think?
I mean, I loved Doom Man coming in, but it fell so flat with Dave that I just I can't force him into it. But like Doom Man is just such an obnoxious combination of words.
Like that's what they call the guy from the Doom series.
No, that's the Doom guy.
Oh, I've always called him Doom Man.
Doom Man.
So you're familiar with the term, but you didn't understand it when we said it.
Who is this?
It's just such an odd name for a podcast.
Those words did agree with my mouth. It's your favorite character of hip hop.
He was talking about MF Doom.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I really don't know. Is that Doom Man, or is that what you're talking about right now?
Oh no,
like who's Doom Guy? I don't even know what
the Doom. You know, like the Doom video game series.
Oh,
like also Doom, played by The Rock.
Yeah, Dune, like the sci-fi.
Yeah, going to hell and shit.
No, Doom Guy is the.
No, that's
guy.
Diablo, Dave. Talking about Dune, I'm talking about the movie with Sting and the Stargate. It's called Dune.
Mm-hmm. You've seen Dune, Dave.
No, I tried to watch it. I made it through like the first 15 minutes.
It's got like
of
a Highlander
and I was
in
like,
it.
no,
and,
it's too much.
Got like a Jabberwocky dance crew, I think.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that sounds good.
Including Shaq.
Shaq?
Yeah, Shaq's in the Jabberwockies.
So yeah, if Doom Man's a no-go, Dave's feeling Gimp Mask, which also shocked me. I mean, I had a good laugh of it, the Happy Fisherman.
They're all good, and I mean, Goatse isn't bad.
Yeah, I mean, Goatse would probably play the best visually.
Write that on my tombstone. Goatse isn't bad.
You'd have a pretty good like animated opening if we go with
That's
Goatse.
True. Yeah, I can envision it.
An animated opening.
Yeah,
Dave, familiar with the medium here? Do you know what we're doing?
Everyone at home, close your eyes. Picture this animated opening. You're flying.
Draw this flip book in time with me, guys.
There's a bum that gets pulled open. You fly into it. We're all in there.
New world.
You're gonna need a 40-page flip book. Right, first you gotta draw a couple of circles.
When you hear the tone, then start flipping.
That's a whole premium episode. Dave teaching you how to draw a Goatse flip book,
frame by frame,
and it's the animated sequence he always dreamed of.
That'll be a Patreon exclusive.
Perfect. Well, you're paying $15 a month for that Patreon, so you're gonna get good Goatse content for sure.
Yeah, we should definitely price ourselves out of Patreon immediately too. Be super bold.
Yeah. We're here to make money.
This is quality content, guys.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a whole separate podcast about showgirls. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like a Goatse podcast is good. I guess it's the thought. Okay, so if we're going forward, I mean, when we become Patreon rich, people are gonna want to you got to think of the link. So patreon.com/the Goatse podcast is pretty good. I like. Patreon.com/Doom. Like to have to say it, and for people to constantly not know what it is very funny. That's and like say it quickly too. That's Patreon.com/Doom Man.
Doom Man. Doom Man.
Yeah, you're listening to Gimp Mask. I mean, I like that.
Yeah. I mean, you're listening to That Was It.
Or what we could, okay, here's what we can do. You know how they say when you flip a coin, what you're really doing is like eliminating what you don't want? Because like regardless, you'll know that feeling when it's revealed what it is, whether you actually wanted it or not. We should do that with like picking these names out and seeing if we get that feeling of like, okay, this is it, this is what we're picking, and see if you feel like, oh no, this is the podcast. Do you have like a piece of paper near you that you can write down?
Yeah.
So I guess in the running, we'll have to. I mean, this is That Was It.
Okay. That was it.
I can already tell you how I'll feel when that gets picked because of course it's going to get picked.
I'm going to number them. So that was it is number 1. Then we pick them. It'll be easier. So, okay, that was it. Number 2.
Why would it be easier with it numbered?
Never mind. I'm not going to number them.
Aren't we just like picking it out of a hat?
Oh, right. Yeah, okay. All right. I'm on board. I know what we're doing now. Okay, that was it.
That was it. Gimp mask.
Gimp mask. Okay.
The Goatse podcast.
I'm going to put the official Goatse podcast because I do like that official.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Stature.
Mm-hmm. The OG... the OGP.
The OG Goatse podcast is pretty good.
The OG Goatse podcast? Yeah, well, that'll be the Patreon spin-off we do. This is the official one, and then the spin-off is the OG one.
Oh, that's even better. Then our theme song can be OPP.
Perfect. Yep.
You down with OGP?
Yeah, and then it's just like an asshole.
Yes, stretch
asshole singing.
your asshole out.
Yeah, you know me.
You down with OPP? Pink sock yourself.
All right, what, number 4?
I don't know. Did we just decide it there?
The official Goatse podcast.
I can live with that. I can live with someone going, oh, you do a podcast? What is it? Oh, it's called the official Goatse podcast.
I mean, any other title like Doom Man.
That's
or
less
that
embarrassing than Gimp Mask, really. What's your podcast called? Gimp Mask?
Yeah.
What's it about? A home renovation? You don't want to breathe in that asbestos. You got to put on a nice tight latex.
All right. Well, you're listening to the official Goatse podcast. I think we got it. That sounds good.
That's it.
That feels
Rock
right.
and roll. Try to keep it stretched for the whole hour. That's what this podcast is about. Podcast starts, you open up, start your engine, runners, start your engines, and you give it a strong pull. You see how long you can keep it open.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we'll tell you when a half hour's up so you can let go and then see if it fully gets back to its tightness at the end of the hour. Maybe that's the goal.
See if it takes a breath.
All right, so now we know the name.
Yes.
It's done nothing to inform what the podcast will be.
I think it tells you exactly what kind of show it is.
I think it definitely it's our like readers beware, you're in for a scare for sure. And Dave can be the like skeleton from Goosebumps. He's the mascot. Boo dude. Boo dude.
Don't put a mascot over my face.
Don't cut me out of the movie, Jack Black, you fucking jerk. We all gotta make a living. You're playing R.L. Stein, you tubby asshole. All right, well, yeah, I guess so. Where do we go from here? We're a Canadian production. Should we announce that, or does that immediately diminish the appeal of our program?
It diminishes where we can advertise for it.
Oh, there's no nothing entertaining happens there.
This is available in Saskatoon and Moncton, and that's about it.
Hockey fans from Labrador to Newfoundland, is that what it is? Just like no, that can't be it. Yeah, just across. There's a tiny portion of the Maritimes. That's where you watch Hockey Night in Canada.
Mm-hmm. Well, where do we start?
Oh fuck! I just forgot. Do you remember what name we wanted to use for the podcast?
No.
Speaking of Canadian entertainment,
Yeah.
we just wanted to call it Headley.
Oh yeah.
And just go fuck you. We're taking it. What are you going to defend them keeping that name and just having it be a horror? Like no, let's take it back.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take back the night.
Yeah. We'll take the power back from it, make it our own.
And if they really push us, we'll just change how it's spelled to be like HEADLY.
Yeah.
And then if people are like, what the fuck does that mean? You go, it's an adverb. It means to make a good decision. You're being very headly. So we totally spin it around where they're like, oh, well, yeah, you made it a very empowering term. It's a whole advertising campaign about like, if you're going to be backstage, ladies, be headly.
Don't forget, guys, #Headley.
Make- We're taking it back. It's empowering, guys.
Yeah. So that's a good one. I also found another one we were working on called 1-800-WE-ARE-18.
Yeah, that one's so good, but it's just it hasn't gone away. Yeah. Like Dave, did you ever call that number?
I've never called it. I'm familiar.
Have you ever
with
called
it,
a sex number?
I don't think so.
Like even as a gag?
One of my buddies may have. It's not ringing any bells though.
If by one of your buddies do you mean me and Garrett? Because we've definitely called sex lines before.
I don't know if I've been around for that.
Meaning we've called each other and just talked each other off as for the goof.
Yeah, just
do you charge each other?
Well.
Yeah, you used to talk me off.
Yeah, that's my punishment. Yeah.
That's weird because like I have distinct memories of going to like phone booths and using payphones to dial 1-800 numbers because I was afraid that it might, if I do it from home, it might somehow track my number that I called from, even if I give no information. So I do it from like payphones because the call, like the voice recording was very erotic. Like for 1-800-WE-ARE-18, it was an erotic thing. So it was both funny and like, so you could do it in front of people and be like, this is a goof. And then you can like just think about it later and not in a humorous fashion.
Give yourself Jackie O.
What a horrible mental image that is. Just crawling over the couch and
fully erect. Yeah.
Just holding goo in your hands. But yeah, like I did. So you had never called it, and then later in life you didn't. You don't like the idea of being talked. Do you not like the idea of being talked off?
Not that into it.
So that's
that?
We got you, Dave. That's what this show's about.
Oh,
did I cross a line?
No, it's good. It's cool.
If we can't talk about if you want to get talked off on the Goatse podcast.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you know what you signed up for, Dave.
Oh no.
Now we got you.
Like Playboy Radio. That's what they did on there, I bet. Just women being like, yeah, I've sucked a dick.
I'm looking
guys
at
in their
my
truck is
pussy.
just jerking off. And they drive. Oh, yeah.
Swerving all over the road.
God. I've got a dick. Oh, God.
Maybe it would be my dick. Yeah. Looking for any.
But no, so all right. So that was no for Dave to say. But 1-800-WE-ARE-18 was one of the. It's the one that sticks in my mind most vividly.
I remember the
feel like there
commercials.
was another one, like Wet something. But I can't remember. Wet. Well,
Talk.
you should try dialing one. Try dialing 1-800-WET-KISS and see if.
All right, 1-800-WET-TALK.
Wet.
So we should call the show.
1-800-WET-DOGS.
Yeah. 1-800-WET-ARE-18. I mean, we could call the show 1-800-WET-TALK.
I don't mind that. I don't mind wet talk. Wet talk from dry holes. That can be the podcast description. the official Goatse podcast. Wet talk from dry holes.
Yeah, that's perfect. I love it.
Yeah, definitely. Jot that down, Dave.
I got it.
Do a voice memo.
All right.
Because I just want you to find that years from now on your phone. Wet talk from dry holes. That's just all it says.
Just a message from my future. Well,
Great.
1-800-WET-TALK from dry holes turned out to be nothing, so wasn't even anything fun.
Wait, 1-800 Talk from dry holes?
Whatever it
you
was.
tried that whole.
That's
That's
a
way
long
too
number.
long.
1-800.
That's too many numbers.
Fuck, I don't know. Yeah, it was 1-800-WET-TALK. I'm pretty sure is what I.
What about Wet Kiss?
All right, 1-800-WET-KISS. Let's see. 1-800.
Like the reason, Dave, that I brought up that we're in Canada,
Yeah.
is I want to talk a lot about Canadian content because I think that it gets dismissed as shitty, which it is, but it's so.
Guide, you're at 1-800-WET-LIP.
We didn't consider all the words that it could
Oh,
spell.
that's it.
That's
I like that little
best
jingle in the
surprise
background.
thing.
All right, well.
Those are some wet
Wait,
kisses.
is she eating?
think, yeah,
Is that
She's
what-
eating a peach.
Yeah. She was eating dried apricots.
She could eat a peach for hours, Dave.
Well,
She
there you
ate
go.
a peach, then she rubbed her hand down your face.
Oh, Castor Troy.
Yeah, and you went, oh, I know it's you.
Dad? Well, there you go. 1-800-WET-LIPS.
Oh, I thought you said nips.
No, lips.
So, but you typed in wet kiss.
Yes.
But it
Same-
came out as wet lips.
Yep. Same number combination.
Lips.
So there you go. That was sexual.
That was great. So you never did that in your youth, though. You missed
Well,
out.
congratulations,
Yeah,
Dave. You've just
well.
done it.
But you had a
All the
friend
sex
who
stuff.
Feels
did it
good.
once, but it doesn't really ring that much of a bell.
Yeah, well, I don't remember every phone call I've ever placed.
That's ridiculous.
Well,
Especially in
yeah,
this
we're
day
not
and age.
talking about a mundane. I don't remember any phone call I've
Dave, do you
ever
remember
played.
calling your doctor
I'm not talking
in
about.
May?
Hey, what pizza did you order 9 years ago?
I can tell you, pepperoni.
What kind was it?
Maybe there's mushrooms on it.
No,
Definitely
definitely not
bacon.
mushrooms.
Okay.
Pepperoni bacon.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
From where?
Domino's.
Yeah.
Maybe
Alright.
Pizza Hut.
Domino's.
There you go.
Shout out to Domino's, first sponsor of the podcast.
Mhm.
Oh, I hope so.
First sponsor potential.
We'll put the feelers
Pizza
out.
Hut, Pound Sand, Domino's. Dave's in. I'm not sold yet. I'm a money first kind of guy.
Yeah, money talks, bullshit walks. Domino's. Ooh.
But Dave, what's your favorite piece of CanCon? Because that's what I want to. I really want to get the ball rolling on that a little bit. We don't have to focus entirely on it, but I just want to touch base so we can just continually think about some of our favorite. And I think we have a legal requirement actually to talk about CanCon as a Canadian podcast. I guess I should say what that is because some people aren't
Just
even aware.
Canadian
People who live
content,
in this
or-
country, yeah, they don't even know that there's legislation here on the radio and on television that you have to do a certain percentage of Canadian produced content.
It's like
And so
30% or something, right?
Yeah. And so we have things that become like not like famous is a stretch, but things that rise to a degree of prominence simply because there's a legal requirement to offer that to the audience. And so I love stuff like that. Like fries with that is something.
Fries with that, for people who don't know, was oh, you gonna say something?
Well, I'm going to say the heartbreaking thing about fries with that is you can't even look it up on YouTube anymore and find the theme song. I mean, I think there might be full episodes that people still post, that's a lot. It's a lot to ask. But somebody just posted the intro, which is enough. It says everything you need to know about fries with that. And that has been removed from YouTube.
It's rough. I mean, companies are really cracking down on YouTube these days, so we're gonna lose all of our favorite stuff pretty soon here.
It makes me so fucking sad when I find a YouTube video that I love is gone. Like the one that I found, because like I've been going through a lot of videos to try to find audio clips that make me laugh, and one that I discovered is gone. And I was lucky enough that it wasn't like how sometimes when YouTube deletes an account, you can't even see what the video was, or someone makes the video private, it's over. You'll never remember what that video was. But sometimes when it gets deleted, the title remains. And the video that got deleted was the woman who breastfeeds her kids when they're like 8 years old.
Talking about melons.
Yeah, it's so funny where the kid is like, it's better than anything in the world. It's better than a mango even.
I'd rather have
Like-
breast milk than a million melons.
Have a lot of breast milk than a million melons. The scale isn't even the same. Like, what is a lot of breast milk? And at what a cost? Like just
2
strictly your
handfuls
mother's
of breast milk.
Then a million melons? Well, yeah, because the logistics of owning a million melons is a fucking nightmare, kid. You should just be happy with some breast milk.
You know, honestly,
that-
I'd rather take the melons. Like you could sell them, make a pretty good profit off of them. So
Want to get into, but she doesn't even like. She likes breast milk more. Why would you get into the melon industry just because some?
you can still have breast milk.
And I think it's operating on the assumption that you can't have breast milk anymore.
Oh, well, if that's the case, then I still
And
want
it's
breast
better than
milk.
anything in the world.
Yeah.
It's better than a mango even.
What's this British kid doing eating mangoes in the first place? Where are you getting them from?
Like, he probably just doesn't like mangoes.
No, I think that they love mangoes. They're saying that mangoes are like the epitome of something.
Yeah, mangoes
like,
and melons.
They say mango thinking that everyone will be like, you get what I'm saying, right? Like, it's that fucking good. I need something that they can
Whoa.
compare it to that an average person will be like, whoa, it's better than a mango? It's better than the fucking mango sketch on SNL. It's better than Chris Kattan as like that trans guy who fucks all the male hosts, who fucks David Duchovny.
Is that what Mango was about?
Yeah, Mango was the sketch where he was like an entertainer, that had like a vaguely sexual energy about him.
Okay.
But he drew in men, so it was Chris Kattan in like a little sort of tank toppy shirt and booty shorts, and then it would always culminate in him like giving a passionate speech to the host. So it would be someone like Keanu Reeves would be backstage at a show being like, "Mango, I need you," and then Mango would get all close to him and be like, "Oh, could you pluck a rose from the earth?" and like get all close as though they're about to kiss.
Like?
I don't know. I did a much better.
Do your real Chris Kattan impression.
You do Chris Kattan, and I'll just I'll feed you lines to say as Mango. No, but I feel that my shitty Chris Kattan did a disservice to my surprisingly quality Keanu.
Yeah, that was a good Keanu, especially around that time.
Either way, his catchphrase was "No, such is Mango." So he would give all these poetic things and then go, "No, such is Mango," and then he'd slap his ass, and the men would like weep at how they couldn't have him as a lover. And that was one of the most popular sketches on SNL for like a year and a half. That gag never failed with people.
I don't remember that one at all. I remember Mr. Peepers, and that's pretty much all
that
I
was
could
his
picture.
other. Yeah, that was the other ace up his sleeve. Those were his solo things. He had the Roxbury guy with Will Ferrell, and then he had Antonio Banderas that was pretty funny too. But
I don't know.
Not that Mr. Peepers was funny. Mr. Peepers was fucking stupid.
Well, I just remember him in Undercover Brother. He was great in that.
Yeah, we could call this the Chris Kattan podcast.
Yeah,
we kind of do anyway. There's a slight shout out in the name.
I mean, we could include Chris Kattan in the official artwork for it, wherever we post it, whether it's on iTunes or whatever.
Yeah, definitely. We can get him as once we get those Patreon bucks and we can offer him a tasty contract, we'll slowly phase Dave out as third mic and bring Chris Kattan in.
Oh,
it'll be like
that'd
the
be an
four of
honor.
us. It'll be for the four of us for a while.
Yep.
And then slowly we'll find that like, oh, there's just been a few more episodes without Dave. Oh, I wonder what happened to Dave. And like on the Reddit where they talk about us to be like, I think Dave killed himself. And
we won't confirm or deny.
No, exactly.
They'll
be totally distracted by we'll bring back the Mango character. We'll do kind of like an audiobook format of it. We'll do a radio play Mango. In fact, I think a script if it's not for Mango, a script exists for a Mr. Peepers movie. There's like a draft of a Mr. Peepers film.
That sounds great.
And if I'm not mistaken, it ends with Chris Kattan as Mr. Peepers, and it's kind of like the 2001 Baby ending where you see it but it's him on the Earth humping it, like it's him shot from space, and he's just humping the Earth the way that Mr. Peepers humps everything.
That sounds amazing.
I'm fairly certain that's how the Mr. Peepers movie ends.
And
that's how the world ends.
Well, at least
Chris
for that
Kattan,
part of the world.
Mr. Peeper Dick just slapping into the continent of Asia.
Yeah, right into Saigon. Oh, well, I mean, if I know what I'd do if I won the lottery, I'd definitely finance that movie, get it made now today with old Chris Kattan
all of the unproduced SNL scripts. The Sprockets movie, which also exists.
I don't know Sprockets.
You don't know the Sprockets character?
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
You've never heard of Sprockets either? Are you familiar with well, here's some CanCon for you. Have you heard of someone called Canadian Walk of Fame legend Mike Myers?
Oh, that man, I've heard of him.
Yeah, he's done a few movies you might have heard of. The Cat in the Hat.
So I married an axe murderer.
Right.
Did you know on The Love Guru he stayed in character as the Guru Pitka in between takes? Allegedly.
That sounds awful.
It sounds so good. I want to see the Heart of Darkness style
documentary.
Oh,
that would be good.
Andy and me.
Miserable cast members. Like in that part of Heart of Darkness where you hear the audio of Coppola being like, I'm going to put a gun to my head. I want to fucking kill myself.
That's Vern Troyer.
I'm going to fucking do it. I'm going to get up on a little stool or I'm going to drink myself to death in 10 years.
Got him. Take that, Vern Troyer.
But what we were talking about, what Mike Myers.
The Sprockets.
Sprockets, yeah.
Sprockets. Oh yeah, Sprockets was that German character that he did that wore the black unitard, and it was supposed to be a German talk show or something that they did, and he would be like, "Oh, now's the time on Sprockets when we dance," and then people it was supposed to make fun of Eurotrash, I guess, kind of that '90s concept of Eurotrash. And I don't know what happened in this movie. I shouldn't have brought it up. I'm sure there was a church lady movie. I'm sure there was all kinds of stuff.
Probably,
an unfrozen caveman lawyer.
I can't think of any SNL character.
What about Pat? I still want to see that movie.
It's
that
Pat,
movie exists.
Yeah, your dreams have come
Pat
true,
exists.
Dave.
I've only seen the movie poster, and it looks very good.
You wished it into existence.
What are you gonna do with that power? Watch its path.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice. Yeah, I've never seen that one either. Well, Garrett and I have been trying to come up with a podcast for a long time, and we had talked about doing a podcast where we just watched all the SNL movies and then talked about those.
Well, we watched the SNL movies, and then we'd also watch the lowest rated movies that the cast members had starred in.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So we'd each get like a cast member, and then we would dissect the movies. I think I still have like a spreadsheet that I made of all the movies, and some of them were a stretch. Like Blues Brothers 2000, and it included some people like Daryl Hammond. I think is featured in that in like the
Good
smallest role.
No,
And
that counts.
And I tried to watch Blues Brothers 2000, barely remembering Blues Brothers. Like, it's not a movie that was an important comedy to me the way it is to some people, but I figured I could just like pick up and watch this movie. I got like 13 minutes in and I was like, I can't do this. And I love watching things that are terrible, but it was a fucking black hole for enjoyment. Like, just everything mirthful went there to evaporate into nothingness. It was awful.
Even John Goodman was bad?
John Goodman, I got as far as him doing his first performance, like he does a number in like a strip bar that's not a strip bar, like no one ever gets naked in it, and I can't even remember what John, he was like supposed to be a DJ there, and he's a sort of a femme character. It's a very bizarre film, but he was the best part, but even that was not enough to keep me around for any substantial amount of time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, then that's a review of Blues Brothers 2000.
Yeah, cut this part out.
Check it out.
Slap it on the Patreon.
Yep.
Pay some money if you want to hear what I just had to say about
$15.
Blues Brothers 2000. Totally worth. Yeah, $15 a month.
Yeah,
Not a
yeah,
one-time.
for sure. No, a month.
This isn't annually, but we'll update with quality like that all the time.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Just stuff cut out of non-Patreon episodes.
Oh,
just
here.
names and shit.
Yeah, well, just
put people
just
on
like
blast.
I watched 10 minutes of it. No, it was no good.
Yeah.
and Clive Owen was in it. Oh, okay.
Oh,
well, there you
cool.
go. That's closer.
Mm-hmm. All right, found the list?
I did. It's just taking a second to load. So, Dave, while we're waiting for that, are you still watching wrestling?
No, not really.
Not at all.
Rarely.
I mean, we're missing Evolution tonight.
Is that the Saudi Arabia one?
No, that's the women's pay-per-view.
Oh.
It's on right now.
God.
Well,
That's
we
the
should definitely
Patriot
be doing
for
that
you.
instead of this.
You misogynists.
Clearly, we don't support women. We made our show, the official Goatse podcast, and this is what we'd rather be doing.
No way. The official Goatse's never been about one gender or another.
Well,
I mean,
it's
you
mainly
could
about
say
the
that,
male
like,
gender.
Well, you could say that Belladonna is sort of the spiritual sister of Goatse.
I mean, you could say that. Some learned
You could say
men
that the
could
song
say
"Hey
that.
Soul Sister" is actually written from Goatse's perspective to Belladonna. Whoa!
I met someone recently who had. I actually know. Never mind. I don't think I can't talk about that.
I met someone recently who said, "Hey, I'm Goatse."
No, save it for the Patreon.
And lifted his kilt, and you went, "Whoa, it is!"
Mm-hmm. Stuck my
Wait.
hand up there.
The reason I asked Dave is, you've heard about Roman Reigns.
I have
Right.
heard about that, yeah.
What are your thoughts? Is that a work or what?
Probably. Most definitely.
Yeah.
He's just going to go start a WWE movie or something.
My brain immediately went there, and I went, "That's fucking brilliant." If that's so, because the arc of that character, where they've been trying to make people love him, and they went, "Fuck you, we will not love Roman Reigns. There's nothing you can do to make us embrace Roman Reigns." For them to be like, "Let's tell him you have leukemia.
We'll put
And
you
people
away
like,
for 6
Get well
months.
soon, Roman Reigns. We fucking love you. Power to you.
It would
If
be
you die, tell all the wrestlers in heaven we love them too."
say hi to Owen. That's
Say hi to a lot of them.
Yeah, mainly
We got a
Owen,
list.
though.
Carry a
British
list with you.
Bulldog. Say- yeah, it would.
No, that I hope that's what it is, because like I said, that's where my brain immediately. Okay, and also it would mean that he's not sick, and how great would that be?
What would be the movie that he's gone off to film then? So like a remake of like
what was the bus driver one with Triple
Speed.
H? Yeah, definitely. That was him as like the villain, right?
Yeah, he got his head knocked off.
Triple H as the Jeff Daniels role. He got shot in the leg in the beginning of the movie.
Gets blown up in his own house.
And then when he tells people 15 years later, I was in Speed, they go, no, you weren't, Jeff Daniels. What are you talking about?
You were in Dumb
Yes.
and Dumber.
Are you confused? There are two movies where a thing goes over a hill fast. Like, you probably... The years haven't been kind to you, Jeff. You weren't in... I would know. It was me. You weren't in Speed, Jeff.
Don't even bother looking up your IMDb
What
page. We
part?
know.
I get shot in the leg at the beginning. That doesn't even sound like a thing. Dennis Hopper gets shot in the leg at the end. It's not a thing. You're mixing it up in your mind.
The whole movie takes place on the bus. There's not even anything else. It's just all bus.
It's fine. Like I get it. You're mixing it up. I mix you up with Bill Pullman all the time. Everyone does. Jeff Daniels, Bill Pullman. I think that's Bill Paxton. No, it's you and Bill Pullman.
One of them's dead. I don't know which one.
I don't know if it's you or if it's...
It's either Jeff Daniels or Daniel Stern. One of them's dead.
So I have the list here of the movies. So there were the SNL movies, and it was the two cast members, and then it was a list of movies that were particularly low rated from them. So the first SNL movie is Blues Brothers, 1980 Blues Brothers.
Classic.
And of course, the two
Rest in
cast members
peace.
were Dan Aykroyd and
Jim Belushi.
Jim Belushi, of course, because John Belushi did not make enough movies. And here's what I'll say: John Belushi's movies also kind of suck. Animal House is not that good.
K9.
Blues- No, you're thinking of Jim Belushi. His movies are great. You don't.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah, so Jim Belushi. So the movies were Dan Aykroyd's movies were Caddyshack 2,
Yeah,
which I still haven't seen.
that sounds good.
Nothing to Lose. Crossroads, the Britney Spears movie.
Okay, he's got a
Oh,
small
nice.
role in that.
Dave, you must have saw Crossroads.
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen Nothing to Lose though.
You saw Nothing to Lose, where he's got the dick nose.
What? I don't remember that.
Well, what do you think? Nothing to Lose? Isn't
that
the
Tim
movie where
Robbins?
they go to?
Tim Robbins with like Martin
No, you
Lawrence?
think that might actually be called Nothing to
I
Lose
think
as
it is.
well.
Oh, this
This
is
is
another
the-
Nothing to Lose.
This is a different Nothing to Lose,
Oh,
I think.
okay.
This is the one that Dan Aykroyd wrote and directed, where like I think Chevy Chase and Demi Moore go to like this like weird eccentric's house, and the eccentric is played by Dan Aykroyd, and he's got like a dick for a nose, and it's just a
Is
very
it like a
off-putting
drama
movie.
or?
Yeah, it's a very serious legal drama.
She's there trying to
They're
work out her
helping draw
father's
off his
estate.
will.
Yeah.
And you learn about his tenuous relationship with his daughters, and you go, God, what a rough life for this poor eccentric man who's got a cock face. No, it's supposed to be a comedy, but it's just like it's supposed to be like a surrealist thing that has a bunch of like sort of monsterish characters. I think John Candy's in it. I saw it a while ago, and it's a very, very strange and let's say off-putting movie. It's something that challenges you to keep watching it. Because humor is absent. Like nobody even tries to make jokes in it. It just exists in this world of sadness. Unlike Crossroads, which you say you haven't seen.
I haven't seen.
That was when Britney Spears was in a bikini for the first time, or not a bikini, in a B&P set.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit!
Dave,
That's
you
Ron
don't remember
Kennedy.
her cover of the Rolling Stones?
I do remember that cover. She was like fucking 15 or 16 on the cover of Rolling Stone.
Really?
Yeah, that's
Holy
weird.
shit,
Wait,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
Wasn't
she
it
was.
famous at 15.
She was
She was like 17 when Hit Me Baby One More Time came out.
Let's find
I think when
out.
like the photo shoot, I think was when she was 16. I want to say.
I wrote the birth certificate. Dave was a birther about Britney Spears. The media shoving child porn in our face. We don't even know it. Show us the birth certificate, Britney. Put away your midriff until you show us the birth certificate. There's Yogi Bear was the other Dan Aykroyd movie because I think he does the voice of Yogi in the newer
Mhm.
animated one. And then Jim Belushi was Homer and Eddie, which is, if you haven't seen it, is a must view.
I
That's
don't know it.
It's Jim Belushi and Whoop Goldberg.
Ooh.
And Jim Belushi plays a guy who got hit in the head with a baseball, and now he's like mentally stunted because of it. Then Whoop Goldberg is like a con woman, and they go cross country because he wants to see his dying dad or something.
This
I
is
can't
all the
remember
same
exactly
movie?
what his motivations are.
Yeah, he's describing the movie Matchstick Men.
I'm describing the Britney Spears movie. The
Crossroads.
simultaneous plot where These two people are traveling across America, Britney Spears and her friends, and like Crossroads is a movie that abortion is a main character in the movie. Like
Nice.
if you sent your teen daughter to that to go have just a good old time, you got her introduced to some dark concepts.
I've still never
like
seen it.
interracial friend. Oh my god.
Oh, man.
And then K9, Curly Sue, and The Principal were the remaining Jim Belushi movies. I've seen none of those actually, and I kind of want to.
Principal's
I really want to see The Principal. Seeing it on this list, I go, "Fuck, I gotta watch that."
Yeah, the principal's badass. He's a tough motherfucker in that movie.
Is it like the
But
substitute or?
It's exactly like that.
I was gonna say, isn't there one with?
Tom Berenger?
No, it's not Tom. Oh yeah, you're right. Tom Berenger's in the first one. The second one is the guy who is in like Deep Rising. What the fuck is his name?
Oh yeah.
I can only picture him on the cover of Deep Rising, like jumping on that jet ski.
The last shot of the
mental
movie.
Image, but what is your name? It's gonna drive me fucking mental.
Doesn't matter.
It really matters. It's a
Jeff-
great name. It's
is it
not
Jeff
Skeet
Daniels?
Ulrich. That's all I'm thinking. Of course, it's not Skeet
I
Ulrich.
think it's Jeff Daniels.
That's it. I always confuse Jeff Daniels with Skeet
I
Ulrich.
think his name is Deep Rising. I think his name is Deep Roy.
Like, and we're doing what I hate most on podcasts, where they try to come up with a name that the listener probably got right away and is going, "You fucking idiots."
Treat Williams.
Treat motherfucking Williams.
Nobody knew
Everwood,
that.
MD.
Nobody
I
yelled
don't-
that
is
out
his
at
name-
home.
Is his name Everwood on that show, or is that where they live?
What show?
Or is that what he has?
Oh, what he has.
It's about a man who lives with an erection all the time.
He's got Everwood.
And he's a substitute teacher.
And he's a substitute.
Watch him
Imagine
try to
having
get through.
Explain that to a new series of kids every day.
Just writes his name on the board and then
Clears
Does
off
a
all the
little
chalk
dot.
off the tray when he turns around.
Hello, I'm Everwood.
That's my name. It's also the affliction I have.
It's one of those chalkboards where like there's been residue of chalk left behind, so as he moves to write, his boner is leaving like a line on
snail
the board
trail.
underneath him. He's just not a viscous liquid.
No, but it looks like
You
a
just
snail
see where
trail.
the chalk residue is like getting
Yeah.
on his pants instead, so there's just a bar all the way across the bottom where his dick is.
Just has white all over his pants.
Yeah, it's like his dick was doing blow.
Yep.
Next was Wayne's World. So there wasn't an SNL movie for 12 years. How did they live without one?
I don't know. We got about 5 minutes left if we're keeping
No,
this
we
to
can
an
do
hour.
a little long because I want to cut that opening riff that I had about serial killer podcast that fucking ate shit. So we gotta make
All
up
right,
a few
but we're gonna
extra
leave this part in though.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I'll reference it and make them go, I wonder what he said. But,
Patreon.
Yeah.
We're not
Patreon.
gonna put that in the
for
Patreon.
$15, you can
You
hear
can
my
find
flow.
out. Yeah. Here are quips and quabbles. All right.
That's patreon.com/the official Goatse podcast.
Yep. Okay, so then we got Wayne's World.
Wayne's World was next, and that was Mike Myers and Dana Carvey. Now Dana Carvey only got 2 movies because I kind of feel that's all he was really in,
Mm-hmm.
other than the Wayne's World movies. Because Wayne's World 2 comes up, and literally under his is blank for Wayne's World 2. So you got Trapped in Paradise, which I feel like that's probably the type of movie you saw.
We're Trapped in Paradise.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that. That's obviously not his other movie, Master of Disguise.
Did see Master of Disguise.
I have seen that. I've
Just
seen
Listen to with
Pistachio
commentary. 'Cause I
Disguise.
know you own the DVD, Dave.
I own multiple copies of it on DVD, widescreen
That's
and
just
full
wasteful,
screen.
Dave.
Fucking...
Get the Blu-ray, Dave. Get the 4K release.
Yeah, that's smarter, Dave. Buy the combo pack that you get the Blu-ray and the DVD
And the
buy
digital
multiple
copy.
DVDs.
Yeah, I
The
should.
digital
If I could do it
copy.
all
That's
again.
sweet.
Watch it on your
You
phone
know that
while
it's
you're jacking
encrypted.
off.
You
Now I
only
have to
get
go buy
4
another
views of that
copy of it.
encrypted one. All right, so I never saw Master of Disguise, so that's I got no input on that. I for Mike Myers though, you've got 54.
Ooh, Book Club 54.
Oh.
Yep.
What's his
Studio
name?
50.
Your favorite guy is in that.
Steve
Somebody
Coogan?
at Club 54.
No, somebody plays him. With the white hair. Oh, fuck, here we're doing it again. I can't remember this fucking
Edgar
guy's
Winter?
name. No, yeah, Edgar Winter. The chalk-faced goon.
Ed
no.
Bigley Jr.
He was an artist. Andy Warhol, that's his
Oh,
name.
I hate Andy.
That's not
Warhol.
who Mike
Andy
Myers
Warhol,
plays.
Dave.
I have no
he doesn't,
opinion on
no, he
Andy
doesn't play
Warhol.
that guy, but that guy's in it.
I
Mike
haven't
Myers
seen it.
plays
Is that
Andy
who Nev
Warhol
Campbell
in it?
plays?
No. Nev Campbell plays Andy Warhol.
Sexy. Then Cat in the Hat.
Mm-hmm.
The aforementioned Cat in the Hat, which I have seen, and is wonderful. No, it's so hard to watch. It's like Dakota Fanning is she's carrying that movie on her 8-year-old shoulders. Like, you're watching a girl just get crippled with the weight of a horrible movie holding her back. And Spencer Breslin doesn't help her at all. He just fucking throws his 200 pounds onto it as well.
Well, now I know this has got a stacked cast. It sounds pretty good.
It is. Alec Baldwin is in there. He comes
Sting
in.
One.
He fucking yells in Dakota Fanning's face. You're just a thoughtless little pig.
Now clean up this house, you thoughtless little pig. I'll be back on Saturday, the 20th.
20th. But he says it in like Dr. Seuss style.
Yeah, it rhymes and makes her feel good.
Oh, look, the mess in this house is too damn big. You're a rude, thoughtless little pig.
That's good.
View from the Top was another Mike Myers movie, which is a very easy to forget film about like flight attendants.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even though I feel that when it came out and what the period that it'd be set in, they would be called stewardesses. But I'm going to make this a woke podcast and call them flight attendants.
Good
So
call.
get with the times, patriarchy. Call them flight attendants. Call those bitches flight attendants. And then The Love Guru, which I'll spare you. I could go on for days on that one.
Well, we saw
that
it in
one
theaters, so.
And it's caused genuine rifts between me and people in my insistence to watch The Love Guru and subject them to The Love Guru when I can. Like when a loved one says, "Oh, you get to choose the movie, no veto." Well, guess what? Guess what's torture for you and is delightful for me is my form of BDSM as I make the women in my life watch The Love Guru. And then there was Coneheads, which was a movie that sucked to me, I thought. I mean, should we keep going through this? We're giving away our whole other Patreon podcast.
Yeah, no,
here.
we shouldn't keep going through it because there's a lot of movies left on that list.
Yeah, the amount of movies really picks up later. So just to give you a taste of some of the movies, you got some of the ones that we would have talked about that weren't actual.
Well, that we
SNL.
will talk about.
Yeah, like Racing Stripes, the movie where the zebra is in racing.
And Frankie
Apparently-
Muniz needs him to race.
David Spade does a voice in that.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Good Burger with the longest running SNL alum of all time, Kenan Thompson.
Really?
Yeah,
Thought it was
longest. He
Kel
beat out
Mitchell?
Daryl Hammond.
That's crazy.
And we've got Daryl Hammond movies too, baby. Agent Cody Banks. We'll go there. We'll go there if you give us Patreon money. If I can quit my job. If I can quit my job and talk about Agent Cody Banks, sure. If I got to work, fuck you. I'm not going to do it. I'll talk about Daryl Hammond on my own free time.
$15 a month. That's a paltry sum for you to pay for what we're going to give you. It's a pretty good deal.
Horatio Sands, we have him listed as an actor, and it's Pat. I don't know if he was in it, but we needed to put him somewhere. So
Yeah, well, we could watch Tomcats.
that's listed. Tomcats and Boat Trip.
Whew, good.
And I think you mean you can watch those movies again.
Yeah. Dust off the DVD. There's no dust on that DVD, Dave.
Has a left player.
No.
All right. Well, I don't know. Is that good?
That's an hour. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
We covered a lot of ground.
Come up with a
We have a
name.
name.
Strong
Yeah.
start.
That's good.
So as we said, we're now gonna do episodes for Patreon. We're gonna go we're gonna go shot for shot, baby. We're gonna be Ronnie from Jersey Shore, one shot kid.
So tune in to our Jersey Shore podcast, After the Shore, the Goatse podcast, and
We're mashing it up. We're gonna do a real, real Pauly D Goatse thing.
Yeah, Goatse with Pauly D's hair on it.
Pauly D's gonna get up on stage in Vegas and just Goatse the whole crowd. It's gonna be unreal.
We're taking
Bumping
over
his
the
fist.
world.
It's gonna be unreal. If we get $5,000 in Patreon, we might be able to offer that to him.
Oh,
He seems to love money. He seems like he would probably work out his asshole. So let's make a deal. Let's make a deal, guys. You chip in the dinero, we'll be able to get some celebrity assholes open wide.
That sounds pretty
That
good.
should be the goal of our Patreon.
All right, we can make that happen.
Until we get arrested for propositioning people to open their assholes.
I mean, we
for
could get
money.
we could get people. There's definitely people out there we could get.
People- And it's not sexual. Anyone
No,
who said
no,
that's
no,
sexual,
no.
that says more about them than it does. No one thinks Goatse's sexual.
No, it's not about fair. It's about power.
It's about romance.
Yeah.
All right, Goatse Podcast, Episode 1.
Mahalo. I love you all.
See you next time.